What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Showtime is blazing with King's Critiques, and we're back for Botan. And in the last episode, things transpired a couple of interesting directions. Firstly, the three girls who kinda seemed like they'd be at emotional odds with each other, in some way, shape, or form anyway, had a little hiking trip while the other three stayed behind, and Ibuki saw a ghost that motivated her push forward in their little hike, because she was definitely not feeling it. Then, well, not only did we get even further and deeper and closer into the relationship between Botan and Ibuki, we also got a little tease, perhaps, of a possible relationship between Gujo and Chin-Lan. And honestly, since that's all like the issue of them being jealous about the other ones, honestly works out in my opinion. But you can let me know your thoughts on that in the last episode, in this episode. Wait until it's over to let me know your thoughts about whatever anyway. And to remind, hit the like button, subscribe, let the whole video run through the watch time, because it's highly appreciated. And that being said, let's get into it. So the episode just started. That's her bandmates. So, quick assumption, is one of them gonna, try to uncharacteristically hit on her or something, and that's gonna turn into the story, or maybe a fan or something, because opening on this, that's all I could see it going, is one of her bandmates might hit on her and try to ask her out, and then a connection thought process to Yaika and such, prior episode opinions, just to see if I'm right. Now let's move on. Okay, well, immediately I can tell I might be slightly off, because she's not even referring to them by name. She's calling to them by instrument. So is it more of a tryout? Or are these people she knows, she just does not care? Drop D? I don't want to drop my D. Yeah, looking at how an outro a couple episodes ago was, I kind of understand what she just internally conflicted with herself. Because one of her bandmates, because apparently, yes, that's her actual band, she's just, rude to them, got accepted into, a cool job offer and some classes and awesome, and what about the band? And I get that, but that's the unfortunate part about, having a band trying real hard, because then Joey will quit, and, Jimmy will quit, and Joey will get married. It's really, really a shitty time. But that's why you gotta find a bunch of people who are ride or die, and never gonna quit on you. And is that where it's gonna go? Is that why the intro kind of has all of them doing some shit together? Could be. Why? I know that sticker is an upside down heart, but it looks like a ball sack. Why? Meanwhile, she's just flipping through a bunch of random shit, and her band reaching out, I'm assuming, and not a lot of it is going well, I assume. But she's also ignoring not only the barista, but also, I assume, Yaika, and asking about coffee, and it's I get your focus, but come on, being rude is mean. Oh, not just Yaika, but everybody. Well, not everybody, but those three at least. Apparently, the other two are busy. That seems weirdly in character for her, actually. She's probably also about to take offense to that, as if Yaika is trying to make a joke about it, even though she's just simply being a playful girlfriend, but Akane is probably going to take offense to it, because this thing with her bandmates and caring more about, life, and honestly, again, I'm an obvious case of I would prefer more to care about my career than a career that might be a pain in my ass in 2 years. Because, brother, let me tell you, unless, I find something that I could, not be in the United States for, Again, time and time again, I've mentioned, this is what is going to happen. or nothing will. Because out there, at the current point of the world, fuck how I was thinking 10, 15 years ago. At this point, there's more likelihood for some bullshit to start. I'm gonna have it. Meanwhile, she didn't get immediately funded, obviously. Chin-Lan kind of breaks the weird air coming from Akane and asks if her stomach hurt, and it's like, not my stomach, my heart, my soul. They're dying. So, Sayaka about to pull some cheeky stuff in this bathhouse and play one of Akane's band's albums. Because she said there's a DJ booth, so I can automatically assume that's the kind of place this is going. So, is she about to break the ice and ask if she's in love with Ibuki? Because I might actually lose it at the comedic, aura of that statement. You know what? Close enough! And the answer to that is yes and no. It's hard to explain, because yes, but also no. Because they totally are, but also are they? Honestly, I was expecting more of a embarrassed reaction. And they really just move on from that. She doesn't answer, they just move on. Which means she very well might have just said, ask her yourself. So that still doesn't answer the, answer that Botan gave to Chin-Lan earlier. But asking the question like that, perhaps she literally just did not answer her at all, and she's trying to have her little bit loose lips. Which, while Botan's drunk, that could go a couple different directions. Meanwhile, Akane, I don't know if it's wing woman or just friend statement here, but Botan kind of put out, yeah, we're gonna grab some booze and go back. It's like, well, alright, we'll separate from y'all. The way Yaika just chomps onto her, though, gremlin girlfriend activity. Smartass. She literally just did that so she could leave those two alone to do whatever they're going to do. And now Yaika's probably gonna be like, fuck do you mean? Yeah. Yeah. Because, Yaika obviously can't read between the lines, but Botan can. Botan gets it. I am still on kind of a wavy length of understanding. Because, again, Chin-Lan asked the obvious question. But she also asked Botan if she wanted to go out drinking. Or, well, hang out and drink. So, what answer did she give? Or did she give another kind of interesting answer? Can't wait to see where these next couple episodes spill out. Okay, well, I was going to say something based on something else she said, but she's apparently answering the question from before. Though, is that going to continue into, but I wouldn't mind if we were? Yeah, Chin-Lan's basically so you're going to be? Because from the way I felt, you two had that vibe. But Botan is completely ignoring her, ordering more alcohol. Probably so she can continue to answer these things more honestly, which, based, I would! I'm sorry, from viewer perspective, it totally looks like Ibuki is already, on the way of yeah, no, I would marry this woman. Because from episode at least 3 onward, Ibuki has been all in for it. Just might be one viewer's perspective, but... And there's the honesty that the alcohol is definitely assisting with. Even Chin-Lan talks from her own new perspective into things, though, on how she feels about it. Like, she's only been around there for, like, what, a week or two at this point? Maybe a month? And she already is well aware. Might she have a little bit of a crush on Botan? Sure. Might she also have flirted a little bit herself with Gujo? Also, yes. Damn, Chin-Lan making assumptions here. It's fine, chill. Yeah, that'll happen. It's fine. You're still, like, mostly a fresh drinker. You'll chill. Then again, Botan is also mostly a fresh drinker since she started drinking with Ibuki, which says a lot in of itself. I feel like 5 is a little uneven of a number. Unless, you two want to share the last can in that group. Okay, carrying a bag together is unnecessary, but also kind of adorable. So Ibuki is ignoring every question that she's asking. So there's definitely a lot going on up here. Does it have to do with the same thing Chin-Lan was questioning about? Probably. I feel like this is going to either lead into something crazy next episode, a really good really good thumbnail, or that confession Chin-Lan was kinda at Botan's brain about. There's the thumbnail, because I doubt it's going to zoom back and give me an even better one. So, like, that looks like it'll be really nice to make use of. That's also not bad either, a little bit more of a close-up. Okay, so it's either really hot or somebody's crying in the beginning of the next episode. But for this episode's sake, and just take that out for a minute so I can talk more clearly. At the ending bit there, we seem to have gotten the bittersweet, almost sad backstory to what happened with Chin-Lan and how she ended up with everybody else. I don't know exactly what I was supposed to extrapolate from that other than maybe she introduced her... I couldn't really tell if it was a girlfriend or a boyfriend, admittedly, but introduced whichever it was to, I'm assuming, her sister, and, well, as is the way of things, sometimes that person got snagged from them, which is very unfortunate. I know this one isn't quite as long as the other ones probably have been, but honestly, the latter half of this episode I just kind of, like, sat and enjoyed, because it was a very nice latter half of the episode of, Ibuki and Botan having another nice little outing together, and the way Botan, honestly, to Chin-Lan was like, we're not dating, I like her, I would like to be dating, but I haven't asked Ibuki if that's what we are yet. I've definitely flirted with her 30 times over, but... And then Chin-Lan just went into a drunken whole bit of don't lead her on, and it's like, it's not what she's trying to do intentionally. Like, I feel like I can't say prospectively myself, but this is one of those things I feel like being gay and falling in love with one of your best friends, like, even if all the vibes are there, you are not 100% certain on it. Because, like, again, realistic perspective and not in a show where it's obviously about somebody being gay for somebody else in that friendship circle. Kind of hard to tell, Like, it's not easy for straight people either, especially these days, to tell when somebody they're interested in is into them even at a base level. Because, like, these days, trying to, like, find a woman who is into guys, like, doesn't have to be just into them, but into them at all, is very hard. But, my point being, with that, it's at least even harder because, it's easy to at least take the swing when it's a, throughout all of history, 1-in-1 kind of thing. But when you're the same sex, it's a lot harder to be like, hey, are we more than friends? Because if Botan outright said it, you know that Ibuki would be like, wait, we're not dating? I mean, I know we haven't kissed yet, but we're not? That's my opinion, though. I feel like Ibuki would just be like, we're not? What? Huh? I thought you just weren't making that move on me yet because I'm uncomfortable. My opinion on that. Y'all can share yours about any end of that conversation or whatever else might come to mind in your head in the comment section, as well as, of course, about sharing thoughts on other movies, shows, etc. you should check out this season, next season, or in general. Hit the like button, subscribe to the other channels, ring bells, like Facebook, follow Twitter, Blue Sky, TikTok, Patreon, and Twitch. Subscribe to the Patreon and the Twitch so you can see all the unedited visuals and audio stuff I upload here. And that being said, it's been the Blazer King with King's Critique. So, ta-ta for now. Peace.